Hello, good evening, good morning. Over here in Nigeria, and it's morning. Yeah, so I actually scheduled this to be scheduled live, but I'm still trying out this, and haven't been able to get it. So, is it your babe? I'm on. I'm actually on. So, if you actually on right now, please open it and check. Okay, can you hear me? Oh, okay. So if you're on, you can actually drop where you're live streaming from. So, like I said, this is Nigeria, okay, and it's 8 minutes past 12. Okay, so far, if if you're here, I give a thumbs up and drop your comment on where you're currently watching on. Okay, so I wanted to give an overview. Check now, check. Click there, you okay? I'm actually live now. I'm actually live. So I was supposed to talk on mystical African folktale. You know that period where you just get this deep, calm realization from your day's busy activities and everything. Oh, since no one is on now, so I was thinking, aside from African folktale, I actually chipped in. I actually chipped in the biblical aspects. Actually chipped in the biblical aspects, and then I would like to talk more about how to marry these African storytelling elements in Bible parables. You may want to wonder why I'm chipping that in. It's still storytelling, and I think the Bible also can also be dated back to how this whole storytelling came about. It's a whole storytelling phase, but this time around, the Bible it's factual. It's not a myth. It's not some just mythical legendary stories. Okay. You're welcome here. I can see like four persons are on, four people, and I'm actually glad to have you here. So, we have African fables and storytelling which offer valuable insights into universal truths and biblical parables. These actually tells us about um, some significance, some significance in the contemporary society today. So the reason why I actually married the biblical aspects of storytelling into my African folktale is because of their similarities. Like I said, if you're just joining now, I said Bible parables, lessons from African storytelling tradition. In other words, I'm trying to say how African storytelling tradition offers valuable insights into the biblical parables. Now, here are some key points. They have similar themes. Yeah, similar themes like community and unity. African stories. Sorry, I will have to place this down. So, I don't know if you can see me. I'm using webcam. Yeah, webcam. So, I have some things noted down in case. you see me looking elsewhere. So African story emphasizes on communal values similar to biblical teaching. Now in the Bible, they didn't just go about telling us about the commandments alone. Okay? They didn't just go about telling us about the commandments alone. It also had some moral lessons attached. Okay? We have some moral lessons attached. And then we have this brings us to the second point, which is morality and ethics. African fables and parables convey moral lessons, just like our grandmother back then, when we were back from school, and then maybe probably after our dinner and homework, we did just sit up and get some moonlight tales by our grandmother. Now, the essence why they tell us those super story, feel the magic and mystic is because they actually have some hidden elements of values in them, which are also known as moral lessons. So they are the moral lessons actually. So that's how the Bible also teaches some aspects like respect and wisdom. African tradition highlights the importance of respecting elders and wisdom. Okay, so examples of African fables and biblical parables that has this use of metabolism and symbolism, metaphors, and storytelling as teachings are the prodigal son in the book of Luke, chapter 15, from verse 11 to 32. Luke 15, 11 to 32. Okay, sorry, I trying to make this thing okay. Yeah, I guess you can see me better now. Okay, so I'm just actually trying out this live streaming, and it's actually my first time, so I'm excited. I'm excited to try out these features. And please do help to subscribe. Okay, so the prodigal son in Luke 15, 11, 32. It's just like Ananiah and the spider. Both stories feature on characters who face consequences for their action. You know, the prodigal son, he wanted quick wealth, like he wanted to get rich, syndrome. He wanted, like he was running faster than a shadow. He wanted his dad to give him his own portion of inheritance. And so he was like, give it to me, like he wants to become a man of his own and stuff like that. Just like some youth these days. They don't want to work hard for their money, and then they just want to, you know, they just want to feel, they just want to get money quick. They want to know what it is to live large and live big. They are passing through the principle of what money making, which can take patience, can take time. Just ensure you're following the right path. Okay. So now the prodigal son and Anansi spider. Prodigal son is the biblical story, right? And then Anansi the spider. They are both character. They both feature major characters, or the protagonist or antagonist, wherever they were the limelight of the story. Okay. But then they face consequences. So you see, when I'm telling a story, either through African folktale or biblical parables, they both have moral lessons. It has a character, and from that character, it can draw out some significance, which you can use or apply the knowledge in our contemporary society. Okay. Another aspect or examples of African fables and biblical parable is that of um hey, this is my birthday. Okay. All right. So another aspect is good Samaritan, and that can be taken from the good Samaritan. Yeah, that can be taken from Luke chapter 10, verse 25 to 37. Luke 10, 25 to 37. So I I believe, although my apology if you're really not a Christian, you might not really be able to tell this whole story, and I won't be able to dive in yet. Okay, so the Good Samaritan is just basically about a a stranger. It was a stranger that was passing through the city of Samaria. Then he is a parable. So he met a man that was beaten by robbers, and then unlike other people that look past the victim, he went there and then he lended supportive hands, and that's how the coin that the Good Samaritan came about. So please don't forget to subscribe and like this. I really appreciate you being here. Oh, okay, so the Good Samaritan and their own, that's for the biblical parables. And then for the aspect of the African fable that I want to compare is the tale of the talking drum. The tale of the talking drum. So I'm trying to adjust this so I can see the people hanging on. Okay. Alright, so the tale of the talking drum happens to be my last video I just uploaded, because I actually make long form videos and short form videos. So you can check on my channel. You can view my channel, and then under my videos, my latest or the most recent video I uploaded, the hunter and the talking drum. So I'm going to marry down that the hunter. The hunter is actually an African fable. We know fables are myth. They are not necessarily facts. Okay. They're not necessarily facts. So the tale of the talking drum and the good Samaritan, they both emphasize on kindness and compassion. Kindness and compassion. So benefits of exploring African storytelling and biblical parables. Number one, deeper understanding. Okay, so African storytelling can enrich our understanding of biblical parables. Now, oh gosh, it's one thing to actually just go straight to teach. Maybe our lecturers in school, in university, polytechnic, or wherever. Our classroom teacher back then in primary, secondary school, they did just teach straight to the point. But when I'm telling using a story to a meaning, so a message I'm trying to pass, and then I use storytelling. Because I use storytelling, it enhances deeper understanding. Yeah. So African storytelling tradition actually can enrich our understanding of biblical parables because they have similarities. And the second one is cultural connection. Cultural connection. Exploring African storytelling can help bridge cultural gaps to throw more insights. Like if you observe more of my story comes from. So my apologies if you're hearing noise. I'm actually at work. I'm actually at the factory, so the factory sound might tend to interrupt, even though I close the windows. Okay, so with that aside, so cultural connection. Exploring African storytelling can help bridge cultural gaps. I tell more stories on the Igbo tradition, even though I'm not really of the East. Okay, I'm of the South region. But when I tell stories about, for instance, I told story about Chike and Queen Onome. I told stories about Queen and King Bolu and Queen Adesua Alice, which is the King's Secret. All these stories are actually African fables and folktales and folklores on my channel. So after this, you can go watch them. Okay. So to help you to understand those cultural gaps, to help you to understand more of these cultures, you understand? Because I'm using storytelling to portray things that happen, even though they are fictional. Okay. They're new perspectives. African insights can offer fresh perspective on familiar biblical teachings. Okay, by exploring African storytelling traditions, we can gain a deeper understanding and appreciation for the universal themes and verses or values found in biblical parables. So, what's more? What else? Like, if you have any other, maybe if you have more insights on how you can marry the biblical parables to African fables, maybe in terms of their moral, spiritual aspects, physical, cultural, whatever, please do also comment in the comment section of this live chat. Drop your live chat so we can actually learn together. Okay, so African fables and storytelling offer both valuable insights into universal truths and biblical rules. Here are some key points to consider. Now we have similarities between African oral traditions and biblical narratives. Both use storytelling to convey moral lessons, like I said earlier, and teachings. Now, both features characters with human like qualities, such as animal or supernatural being. Yeah, animal or supernatural being. Also, remember also talking drum. Now, in the real sense, drum don't necessarily talk. It's just some form of personification. In literature, we call it personification, whereby we give life to inanimate objects. For instance, drum don't talk, they only produce some onomatopoeia, some kind of sound, the pitter patter of the rain and stuff like that. So that's what drum can actually do sound effects and all, but it can actually not talk. But this is what the Bible and African folktales do. They can actually what make inanimate objects. You can use it to tell stories like animals. Okay, there was a part in the Old Testament where I think Balaam at the ram, an animal actually spoke to Balaam. I think it was the aspect of if you curse whoever curses you, you curse and all of that. So I think God was trying to use, I don't know if that's a parable. It's actually a, yeah, I think Balaam or Balaam thereabouts. That aspect, sorry, so that aspect basically was an animal that so African folk can actually portray inanimate or animals or supernatural beings whatsoever. They can give human life qualities. Okay. And then apart from moral lessons and teachings and human life characters, both emphasizes community, unity, and social responsibilities. Now the lion and the hare is a Swahili fable. It emphasizes on communal values like trust, respect, and unity. Okay. Now we have the tortoise. The tortoise story. I remember my childhood tortoise story was really, really one of my most interesting. Oh my gosh, I love reading. Like as a primary school, when I was in my primary school, yeah, I usually love reading stories a lot. So you can see this passion thing. I didn't delve into this passion now. It's been way back, about over a decade now. Yeah. So about over a decade, my primary school. Okay. So I remember then I loved the tortoise story a lot because the tortoise was portrayed as honey, crafty animal. Okay. And then we have the birds. So the tortoise and the bird is an evil fable. It warns against greed and betrayal. And you know the tortoise. Tortoise is known for this characteristics: greed, betrayal. So these stories now highlights the importance of trust and unity. And then we have the elephants and the ants. It's a Zulu fable. Zulu is a fable from the Zulus that teaches respect for others, regardless of size or strength. The elephant is quite gigantic. It's one of the biggest and largest animals. Okay, and the ant is one of the most tiny or tiniest of creatures. Okay, so putting the Zulu fable, the elephant and the ants together is to teach you that there's actually a big difference between these two ants and animal in terms of size and all. So it teaches respect for others regardless of size or strength. We also have African proverbs. African proverbs and their relevance by biblical parables. Now remember that the reason I'm trying to marry African storytelling and Bible storytelling together is because recently I don't just do African storytelling. I've started incorporating the biblical stories as well. And so they are both storytelling. This is in a nutshell of everything I'm saying. So African proverbs and their relevance to biblical parables. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. I'm trying to tell you African proverbs. This one I just said now is an African proverb. So it has relevance to biblical parable. So if you want to go far, go alone. But if you want to go fast, then go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. It's an African proverb. It's also similar to biblical emphasis on the importance of unity and cooperation. Unity and cooperation. Okay? Remember that it was when the Israelites united and they cooperated, and then they wore their sackcloths and begged God for mercy. They apologized for their wrongdoings. That was when they were able to get to the promised land. You understand? So that unity, and also they also came together and then they blew their on the trumpets. That was when the war of Jericho came down. So you see, together we achieve more. You understand? Together we achieve more. So this is what this African proverb is. So you can always marry African proverb. It's can you increase the AC issue? You're with the remote now. Okay. So okay. Alright, so another one is another African proverb that has biblical relevance is that of the death of an elder. The death of an elder is like the burning of a library. It's an African proverb. It highlights the importance of respecting and learning from elders, similar to the biblical emphasis of honoring one's parents. All right, so I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to wrap this up for the night, and it's good to have you all here. Thank you very much for joining this live stream. It wouldn't have been possible without your audience. So hopefully, from time to time, we'll be coming live, and it may not necessarily be about teachings. It's just me trying to throw more light on why I brought in these two niches. It's actually storytelling. You can have storytelling on Africa, or not really fully African, on folktale. You can have storytelling on historical scenarios, and perhaps storytelling on biblical scenarios. So thank you very much for watching, and if you learned anything, please drop it in the comment section. Bye. Thanks a lot, and please do it subscribe. Thank you. So I'm ending this stream now. Okay.